Yo, I'm some dude. How you doing? I'm some dude who reviews flashlights on YouTube, and that's what I'm gonna do tonight. I've actually done this before. None of you remember, because it was like my first or second review ever. I'll find it, link in the description. But I had 3 revisions of this little Maritech AAA flashlight, which is still amazing, and my go-to pocket flashlight. Just like, look at it. It's got my automatic hearing protection in it, so when I go to a concert, I got a little flashlight and that, and I'm good. Now, a friend said, "Oh, dude, I got this flashlight. Which one?" "It's this Nicore. It's this Nicore EA45S, and it's the best flashlight I ever had." And Mastrop had it. But actually, Mastrop didn't have it. So I went to Mastrop to look at it. Oh, it's not there. And then I saw this, the Claris AT20, and I'm like, that'll be purchased. So I bought this one instead. The next day, the Nicore came back on Mastrop, and I'm like, oh, fine, bye. And then, at that point, I'm talking with Anchor about, the little Bluetooth speakers and then the Bluetooth IEMs. And sure enough, I was randomly on Amazon, probably looking up the cost of this when it's not on Mastrop. And there's an Anchor flashlight, and I'm like, yo, send me your LC130. All these are around $60. I'm not going to get very specific. The prices vary up and down. But, so yeah, they sent me this. I bought these 2. Let's review flashlights, which is different from everything else now. I guess we'll start with this one. This Anchor LC130 and the Claris AT20, I'm going to keep having to look at it because I'm never going to remember it, are both USB rechargeable flashlights. This one, the Nicore, when you unscrew this red cap, that pops off. AA's, 4 AA's actually. And I've of course got Eneloops in here, and you can get Eneloop Pros if you want to be a real, prepared person. And that is a very obsessive compulsive battery door, because it's literally got threads, and you push it down, and it's all aluminum. It's got these aluminum guides, and you push it a little bit, and then you just screw the back door on, and it's fully sealed. And I don't remember the specs for any of these, and I'm trying not to. But like, you're gonna say, well, how many lumens? And I'll list it in the description, but I'm not gonna just blurting out lumens and times and everything else. I know the rough amount of time they all last, because I went camping at Lime Rock for the Historic Festival, and I brought all 3 of these, and I gave my friend this one, and I gave my other friend this one, and I held this one, and we all just used them for 4 days. And none of the batteries died. We only use them sparingly at night. Actually, no, this one I didn't use sparingly at night. We use this one a lot for a very specific reason, which I think I could show off. We'll get to it. We'll get to it. Start with the Anchor. So, this batteries, you saw that. The Claris, here's a little rubber boot. You lift it up. There is your USB Mini. I wish it was a USB-C, just because I wish everything was a USB-C, but that'll do. So it's an exposed little boot. You push the cap back in. It's solid. It closes solidly. Shut off. The Anchor now, there is no exposed port. Thank you. You unscrew the back, and it doesn't actually give you the battery. What it does, it gives you, there's your USB port and a serial number. And it looks like copper. Well, that's because it's making contact. So this is attached with a little piece of elastic. Oh, by the way, they all come with lanyards. The Anchor comes with like a standard lanyard that you'd find on anything. The other 2 have custom lanyards. Now, if we unscrew this, so you unscrew it, then you unscrew it again if you want to access the actual battery, which that is a big, and it's Anchor. They just sell battery products, basically, and they've branched out to things that now use batteries. So that is a 3.7 volt, 5,000 milliamp hour, 18.5 watt hour. Just ridiculous. It's a ridiculon battery. I think they sell these online. So it lasts. In fact, have I ever had to recharge this? It must have died. It must have died. I must not be remembering it. I must have been so drunk. Anyway, so you screw the back on. You screw the battery back on. That's how you would recharge it. Boom, little light comes on and everything. Then you screw on the waterproof back. And I'm pretty sure for durability's sake, this one's going to take it. Now, this one is a 3 element. And I'll tell you right now, this is the brightest of these 3. It's the brightest. It has multiple levels. Now I'm doing this with the projection screen down, so let's see. The way the button works, and my father keeps buying $8 Chinese flashlights because I can't convince him to stop doing that. And one of the complaints I had when I first got this out of the thing was, oh no, it doesn't have anything but one button. So all these flashlights come in multiple modes. So we got 1, 2, oh my fucking god. Then we got an SOS mode. I'm just half pushing the button. And then we got bright, medium, dim, and then you click it on. So you do a half press and you click it on and it stays there. Now, I haven't touched the setting in 2 seconds. So if I shut it off and then turn it back on, 2 seconds, shut it off, turn it back on, it just remembers your setting. When I first got it, I was doing the click, 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 because if you just start clicking it on and off, it's just going to switch modes every time you do that. Once you've picked the one you want via light touch and you turn it on and shut it off, as long as you wait 2 seconds to turn it back on again, it'll always come on, and that is on high. The negatives of this flashlight are, you saw it has high, medium, and is that low? No, that's low. Guess what? That low is brighter than most flashlights. We could just analyze it. I'll give you an example. If that is low for this thing, let's pull out the Claris, and it's 1, 2, oh, blind, 2, 3, 4. That is still on, but it is like hundreds of hours of low. Where that sits low, and this one doesn't even show up on the screen. So you also have to shuffle through the insane police panic strobe and the SOS mode to get back to high, medium, and low, which I will just shut it off on low. By the way, there will be, after this video, I will go outside at night to do an actual demo, because I know this doesn't show much. So back to, no, we'll hold off on the Claris, so I'm going to shut that off, because they've all got their quirks. So this is the most basic of the 3 flashlights. I love the fact that the back is completely covered. You could throw this in the ocean, and in 6 weeks, go get it, and it'll probably be fine. It's got the head is nice and it feels like a mag light up front when you do that. It's a flashlight. In the common sense, you use a flashlight. I don't see anyone using this in a tactical way, like mounted under the shotgun. It's just too big. So let's look at the night core now, the one my friend said to get. And it's actually got I like the shape of it. Except for one thing, you can't tell when you're holding it right side up or upside down. And it's got a nice narrow body with some texture grip here, and these are the heat sinks because LEDs get hot. In fact, this also says right here, hot, caution. So if you run it long enough, it'll get hot. And here are your heat sinks, and here are your buttons, 2 buttons. And that's important because there aren't enough flashlights with just 2 fucking buttons. You have a power button, turns it on, and the next button switches through modes. So there is crazy low, just like the Claris has crazy low. This one actually might be dimmer. I don't even know if you can pick up, there's like a little white dot. And then it goes up from there. So you have low, step 2, step 3, step 4, step 5, and then back to low. So it's got 5 brightness levels. The Claris only has 4 brightness levels, and the Anchor only has 3 brightness levels. Bright, really bright, and holy shit, bright. So that is a negative on the Anchor's part. And I think 5 is good, but we have to talk about the patterning of these. Well, actually, some more. Let's talk about this, and there are some more cool things. If you double tap from an off state, the power button. No, I'm sorry. If you double tap from an off state, oh Jesus, the switch mode button, you get police panic blind your enemy mode, which now I have just, my eyes are killing me. So yeah, that's fun to play with. Then you could hit power and it shuts off. You can also hold the power button from an off state. No, I'm sorry. Wrong again. Hold the power button from an on state. And if you look, see that blue blinking LED behind the power button? That's good for 400 days. That's if you're in your tent or you're stuck in a cave in rubble and you shut your flashlight off and you're not sure if you're going to be able to find it. That blinking blue LED, and I don't mind if it's blue in this instance, by the way, will just blink until you turn the unit back on. So once you turn the unit back on, it's over. You shut it off, hold it down, you get the beacon. That's thinking. That's someone out there is thinking. That's an advanced feature. I only wish a couple things. That it blinked this very dim, or had the, because here's the problem. Yes, that blue LED will blink. And now what fucking good is it? Because as soon as this rolls away, you have to have that exactly pointing at you to know that this is where I am. If something happens and this rolls over in the night, you're done. The Nightcore, by the way, is the only one that comes with a whatever the hell belt clip bag. I mean, it's actually really, really nice. It's branded Nightcore. It's not some generic. It fits it perfectly. You slide it down. You come over. It's solid. It's heavy duty. Here's the by the way, here's the Nightcore. Wow, I totally blanked on the name of those. Lanyard! Lanyard! It's a lanyard! The Nightcore lanyard, right? So let's look at it. Rounded edge, and it's got this slidey thing, and oh, it's a nice soft cable. It says Nightcore. Let's go to Claris. Oh, it's a rounded thing with a slidey, and it says Claris. So they're buying the same cords. I don't think they're made by the same company, and it's just, they could be. That would be the way I'd corner the market. I'd make 700 headphones that all look slightly different, but I make them all, and I make all the headphones. So you can put it on either side. The blinking blue, I love the concept. It needs to honestly work properly. This would have to have like an LED. This would have like a clear Lexan ring around the tip of it, around the whole top, and then that would have to flash just light blue. Just super. Talking about in the dark. That's a great feature. I love it. But that's the end of the features. We'll get to the actual spots of it. Let's talk about features. So talk about this one's features. So this one, the Claris, comes with a clip, a very heavy-duty clip that is detachable. You can just pull that off the body of the unit if you don't want it. And you can reverse it. So you can go this way, so it clips onto things and the light goes that way. You reverse the clip, like I currently had it. And now the clip faces this way. I tried clipping it on my baseball hat because my little Maritech here, that's where it lives. I just clip that onto your baseball hat and you've got a headlamp that uses a single AAA and will work for hours. One button, hot, clip, rotating head, which is the reason I bought it. Rotating head, and you'll work. Get over here. Magnetic base. The only one with a magnetic base. And let me tell you, this thing saved my ass. The first week I had it, I took it to go pick up my car from the shop. And because I picked up my car from a shop that was probably not doing its job right, radiator hose flew off halfway between the shop and home, and it's an hour drive. Pull over into a gas station, the clouds start coming in, it's gonna rain, it's gonna pour. I have no radiator hose hooked up anymore. Why did it fly off? Because I forgot to tighten it. Getting a little pissy, a little private. Anyway, magnetic thing, pop right to the hood of my car. And then you rotate. You don't have to go straight, and you don't have to go 90. You put it to any angle you want, and you could literally paint a line in any orientation to where you need light. Fuck. And it's the smallest of the group if you haven't noticed. Also self-charging. In fact, we can get the battery out and show you how much smaller it is than the crazy Anchor battery. Only a 2600 milliamp hour. It's labeled Claris. I'm not sure if they make their own batteries. It's only 9.6 watt hour, but this is a triple head, and this is a single head. Put you back together. Nice seals on everything. You never have to see this battery again, because all you're going to do is pop up this little flap, charge it by USB, and be done with it. The machining around this, like when you get that 40, not full 90, but 45 going on, you get a very sharp edge here. You could use it as a weapon, basically, because it is just a machine-honed aluminum 45. When it's fully open, that almost could be a glass breaker. It says hot down in the body because it does transfer heat all the way down. This doesn't have a traditional heat sink. This has heat sinks. This entire head is huge, so it dissipates heat well. This is the smallest flashlight, and it's also really fucking bright, so that's a thing. Also, I noticed one thing that will slightly annoy you, because it annoys me, is when you put it too straight, it goes about 2 degrees past straight. So if you stand it on its lens, you can see that is not. That's where that's perfect. That's just that little bit extra. That just can't. You can't blame it for that. I won't yell too much. So one of the things I like about the clip here is you could put on your belt and you could turn the head 90 degrees. Except there's one problem. To put this on your belt, you've got to put the clip right there so that it's pointing forward, which puts it right by the button. So you can't touch you can still use it. It's just more of a pain in the ass than it needs to be. Small green LED in there to indicate it's on, because when this battery does die, which I had one of these, it might have been you, where the batteries were spent. I had them on for using for days, and instead of just shutting off, it would go to the lower setting, and that's all it gave you. It was, I think it was the Night Core. It was definitely the Night Core. The Night Core didn't die. The Night Core said, batteries are really low, here's a flashlight that works, but you better recharge me. I do not know if the Anchor will do that. I've been using the Anchor and I haven't killed it yet. The battery's so, even on retardo high, it lasts forever. The Claris here I keep charging because I use this is my go-to because of that incident with the car where it saved my ass. So you could still do that. You could still manipulate the button. It's just that if it's clipped onto your belt, there's no goddamn way you're able to get to do that. So, slightly weird design quirk. Now we should talk about the actual light that these throw. Oh, so crazy low, and I don't remember how many hundreds of hours. This will do a multi-100-hour low mode. This will do at least over 100 hours in low, probably, I think it was 200. I'll get the specs for the description of the video. Check them out by the links. And this one, I'm imagining, will on low will do many hours, but I don't think it's multi-hundred because it just doesn't get dim enough. So I like the fact that both of these flashlights, there's dim on this. Oh, that's another weird thing, is that the Night Core goes from low to brighter, which makes sense, and the Claris goes from low to bright to dimmer. So they're complete opposite directions they travel. And you can see here, they're actually really close. Oh, should we do this on low as well? Yeah, that's the low. They should just call this the sun. It's just the sun, everybody. So you get some nice super lows with these. And you shut them off. To shut off the Night Core, it's just a power button. It's on and off. That's it. You can't do anything else. You hold down the power button from an on state, you get that blue blink. If I did it right, hold on. Get the blue blink. The Claris here, so it goes high, medium, lower, medium, super low. And to shut it off, you have to hold it. You have to hold it to shut it off. If you touch it and you touch it again, it just keeps changing modes. Then if you touch it fast, you get panic, blink, which does fast and a slower blink, and then fast, and then slower blink. And they're all very annoying. And I don't know anyone who's ever gotten out of like a rape from using a flashlight that's flashing someone's eyes. But I wish this had 2 buttons. Just like this had 2 buttons, because you have to hold it down to shut it off. I've gotten used to it. I've gotten used to it. Even this one, you can just click it on. Click it off. Click it on, click it off. Click it on. Hold it off. They've got the timing just right. It's not like a crazy and long amount of time you have to do it. I have a problem with flashlights. Usually have a problem with flashlights. My little Maritech here. I love my little Maritech because when you turn it on, I'm comparing it to those and I can't see it. You get a big wash of light. In fact, hold on. Excuse the boxes. The other Maritech that I bought recently, or more recently than this, because this is years old at this point, is this 90 degree. Claris. And what I really like about this one, it'll do crazy low, but it throws a perfect circle of light. No hot spot. 0. So, I mean, I could light up a room at night with this just fine. This is a single AA, by the way. You can't even see it on the projection screen. You know why? Because the entire screen is illuminated currently. At night, maybe I'll come back and do the demo on the screen. I don't like flashlights that hot spot. There are some flashlights that seem to think that every person using them is a goddamn Coast Guard rescue worker that is on the ocean and needs to see a quarter mile away. They need to light up a boat. This Nitecore's biggest fault is when you get it up, and I'm not sure how the camera's picking this up. I'm gonna have to go back. I am 10 feet from that screen, and the bright center is not even a foot across. There's a 2.5 here. This is the bright center. Then this is like the warm outside, and then it sort of illuminates, so you can just barely see my shadow over here. This is a goddamn needle. This is the problem with most flashlights. So if you've been watching my videos for years, and it would have to be years at this point, you may have seen the Dreadlight, which I made because flashlights suck. It's a 12 volt CCTV battery pack, so it's just got a bunch of phone batteries in it. 12 volt, charge it by using the same port. This is a 6 LED floodlight for the front of a car. Comes with a little bracket and everything. This is an aluminum bracket I got from China, and this is the front handle for a pickaninny rail on an assault rifle, which has a secret compartment at the bottom of it. I screwed this to this. I screwed this to this. I cut the wire and terminated it with a thing which is currently all fucked up. And you turn it on, and you get a wash. Oh, you got, see, look, you see my hand is blocking the light, yet I still see everything. You get a ridiculously 1360 lumen just floodlight. I like a floodlight. I don't need to see a quarter mile down the road. I need to see that area at night, the whole thing. Give it to me. And this is what I had to do to accomplish that. I built 2 of those actually. One stays in my car, which is that one that's getting recharged, and one stays in the house. And the best part about this flashlight is I could put it down like this, turn it on, and work anywhere in the general area, and I have enough light. Something like this Nitecore, you turn it on, and you point it at a corner, and guess what's getting light? That little fucking tiny corner, that little itty bitty baby space is getting all this intense light. At least you could stand on its ass and try to bounce off the ceiling, which is a technique you could use to light up a room, but too pinpoint. The anchor, turn you on, sit back the same distance, it's only slightly bigger. That's probably a 14 or 16 inch circle. So let's click through the modes now. No, 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 there's bright. So I'll give it this. That's a 20 inch, maybe 16, 20, it's bigger. Certainly bigger than the Nitecore. And then you get this aura around it, and you could see all the way up onto the ceiling there's still light being thrown. But it's still got that intensity right in the middle. So you can do the sit on its ass, light up a room. Wow, this thing is filthy. Should have cleaned it after camping. But you can't, like, I would never go to build a computer or climb into my desk to undo wires and point this thing, even on the lowest setting, anywhere near where I'm looking. It'll just burn your eyes. Too small, too focused. Again, this will shoot for a half a mile. The Claris now, the one that I've basically adopted as my surrogate child, when you turn that on, that is, it's hard to see where the circle is. It's like the whole screen. The screen's 40 inches tall. From this distance, we got a 40-inch perfectly warm, no hotspot circle. And it is touching just up here in the ceiling. This is comfortable amounts of spread. I like this. This is what I look for in a flashlight. I've seen those ones that have the telescoping neck that you could squeeze it down so it microscopes the goddamn LED. And at least it can do that and then pulls back and gives you a wash of light. I like a wash of light. I want to point in the corner and see the whole corner. Not one of those speakers with the most intensely bright light. Fuck, who could use that? Honestly, unless you're trying to blind someone, that's the only reason. So this has the nicest beam of the group. As far as I care, I don't care. If you need to go on the highway and signal people that are driving towards you, you want the intensity. You want that pinpoint fucking hotspot. And this is a much softer thing. It's just here. I'm lighting up here. See, I want to shut it off at the back. So let's hold it down. Put this one on. Ah! Ah! Oh, God. I can't even look at it. So, I mean, they each have their purposes. This is officially the brightest one, though. Anker, this is their first flashlight as far as I could tell. And they decided to say, hey, you know what? We make batteries. Let's put a giant one in here and give these LEDs. Oh, I'm not looking at it. I don't want to look at it. I think I got spots in my eyes with my eyelids closed. Yeah, this one hurts. This thing is insanely bright. When we do the night demo after this, when I cut this at some point and walk outside, you're gonna know exactly that this is the brightest one by a lot. Well, also, maybe I'll even get the numbers for the hours if I don't put them in the description. So, great features. Love the blinking blue LED. Love the 2 buttons. 2 buttons. Why can't anyone else put on 2 buttons? Claris, you should have 2 buttons. Anker, at least if you had 2 buttons, it wouldn't have to... The problem with the Anker is, once you have a single button, unless you do like this does, where you can shift through them nicely and like a gentleman, and then hold it down and shut it off. This one you have to shift through them, and you have to get to this one. And to this one, the SOS one, you have to pass those to get back to the original setup. Which just makes it feel like a cheap Chinese flashlight. So that's the main difference. Is I don't like the control scheme on this. At least it remembers. Once you turn it on and shut it off, you never in the entire life of the flashlight have to see it flash. But you just have to never switch back through the modes again. 2 button is the way to go. I could live with this one. By the way, the LED lights up red when you're charging it. This one has an LED in the back. I mean, as far as, look at the size. These are both about the same price, by the way. And I built this one. This costs about $100 to make. This light was cheap, $14. This battery pack was cheap, $24. The bracket was like $8 because it's a stainless steel one. And then this handle was like $40 because it's a goddamn design for rifles. I actually have one with an AK-47 handle because Zeos, that's why. Oh, the Claris also comes with a Claris branded USB cable. I've been keeping this with this so that I could talk about it in the review, and there you go. I just did. So yeah, we could also, I want to just show you the intensity of this. Gotta remember which way to twist this stupid thing. Here we go. And then you could just turn it anywhere you want. It'll keep rotating. So now it's just shooting out in 45. And that's worth its weight in gold. You got to go to a hardware store and you'll find ones with magnets in the back, and they're usually like $15, but they should be $3. So this one's actually made of quality. Okay, stay tuned. Light demo coming up. If I remember to record it, could be days from this exact recording. Just glad I got to talk about these, because I do want to. I have this thing with flashlights. I think I'm afraid of the dark deep down. I used to be, and then I realized I was the scariest thing in the dark. Which is honestly true. If you're afraid of the dark, if you're a little boy watching this, which, why the fuck are you watching YouTube videos about flashlights? Oh, because you're afraid of the dark. If you're afraid of the dark, remember, when you get older, you'll be the biggest, baddest, scariest thing wandering around in the dark. And everything else should be afraid of you. So, light demo now is gonna help. We're gonna do the light demo now. Okay, this is where I'm gonna do it. Going to disable this exterior light. Very technical process there. And so I don't die, I'm going to leave this one on. Don't go jumping off the balcony. Perfect brick cameo, by the way, I just want to point it out. So we will give it, I think, the one I had the biggest problem with, the light pattern, was definitely the night core. How much light do we save if I kill this? Hold on. That's not bad. I don't want to freak her out by closing the door. So we turn it on. There's the dimmest. And I was watching the first half of this, and the patterning exaggerates. Like, that is as bright as the center looks right there in my shadow. So it brightest there, and it spreads out to there, and then there's like barely anything here. So we bump that up. Even on the second highest, you could see it is, this would be probably a good flashlight maybe 10 years ago. It's been perfect. So we got another step, and now it's a bright flashlight, good for like inspecting things. And boom, there's maximum, or is there 5 on this? There's 5. There is 5 on this one. And that is just like, I don't want to be shining flashlights into people's windows, but that's, look for my cat. I see her. Yes, this is very much a distance. Like, I'm looking across at that house, and the bright spot is the entire wall of that house. Whatever the height is, it looks like about 6 feet. Those are standard height windows. Yeah, that's about a 6, maybe 6.5 foot gray area. Let's turn that off. We'll have a little beacon activate. So about 6.5 feet from, I'm gonna estimate that as about 80 feet. It's not, it's a pin. 6.5 foot height at 80 feet is dumb. Next will be the anchor, which is the brightest one. Holy shit, that's on high. Oh, there's low. And as you can see, low is still like, low is still brighter than the night core on high. A bigger area, it's certainly covering bottom to the top of that roof, and this is on low. So let me, I have to go through the insane blinking to get to the high. Oh my god, that's search helicopter levels of flashlight. Medium, still insanely bright. Still insanely bright. Cat. Oh, alright, dumb. So I'd say from this distance, where the night core threw about a 6.5 foot high, this is throwing 12 to 14 feet high, the hot spot. And now my pick of the litter, which is the Claris, and I'll put it in 90-degree mode, as high, medium, more medium, and low. So low is there. It doesn't hotspot. It's already, it's like 2 feet. Well, it's like a foot there in this distance. And now we're gonna click it up, and that's just lighting up. Look at the shadow. I can't even tell you how big the hotspot is. It's the entire height of a 2-story building from this distance. And it's still bright enough to see in every window. And look at my cat. It's a much nicer light. And lower, and lower, and nighttime dim, and then back to insanely bright, and then you click that and you scare the cat. And just for comparison's sake, and because I built it and I love it, I charged the dread light. So here's this, which is essentially lighting the entire 2-story building, but also look at the left and right. It just, the pattern is huge. It's the entire porch I'm looking at. There is no hotspot. It's just all of it, which is what I want. I want to be able to put this down and okay, I'm lighting up the whole area. The whole of it, just all of it, every little bit of it. So I'm going to see how this came out. I think they all have their strengths. Chewbacca, don't eat leaves. Let's go. Fusht. Come on. Fusht. Fusht. Go in. Go, go, go. Alright, if I go in, she'll come in. Come on. Whatever. Enjoy my flashlight reviews, because I like flashlights. And I'm probably going to put possibly the anchor up for the Patreon yard sale. It's too bright. It's too bright. It's the simplest of the group, and I'm glad they stepped into it. But now, hopefully they watch this and they step up their game on the actual electronics that control it, because having to skip past those flashes is just a nightmare. They have the brightness. They have the durability. I believe that the anchor would probably survive the most amount of torture. The Nightcore followed, and then this with the articulating head. I think it's probably the last likely, and then mine is just, mine breaks because you looked at it. These are my final words. So here, there's high, there's high. Let's get them all on for impressive YouTube points. Low, 1, 2, 3. And there's that, and then we'll throw this on. There you go. Holy shit! Holy shit! Get in the goddamn house! Stop drinking the puddles! Alright, we're done. This is how Zeos does flashlight reviews. Hope you enjoy them. Next time. Patreon link in the upper right. No wallpaper link? I don't know. Link something in the description.